Hi, I'm Peter Rose, founder of Longwood Currency Trading. A better approach to Forex trade entry. One of the primary aspects of your trading success is your entry. It's without the entry, you don't have a position to manage, you don't have anything to get out. So if your entry is wrong, you're not going to be successful. You can read all the theoretical stuff about staging and compounding and all this other stuff. But if you get that entry wrong, I mean, I think everybody agrees with that. If you get that entry wrong, you're just not going to be at any advantage for basically doing anything. So what could be a better approach to trade entry as you may be looking at it? We all know that you open the trading platform up and you look at current price action, you look at a little bit about what's happened over the last few hours and do some probabilistic estimations of what price will or could do in the next couple of hours, where you're going to be sitting at the trading desk and trying to make something happen. That's the start of entry analysis. What's the price doing now in relationship to what it's been doing? Where does the overall, maybe you go out to the 4-hour chart and you say, well, man, this is, price right now is going down, but the 4-hour is really going up. So if I see that price is going to continue to go down over the next 10 or 15 minutes, I might want to do a reverse and do a short. But if you're looking at a 2-hour time frame and really not much real estate to get on that downside, but more if the thing turns around, now you make a new type of decision as to, well, I need to wait a little bit until such and such conditions are met, and then I can enter that trade on the long side. That's all part of your entry analysis, right? So what are you doing in that? What's that process that you're doing? You're collecting information, and maybe you have a bunch of rules or something. You know, it's 15 minutes before the pair that you're trading opens on the major side, and it's Tuesday, and the Bollinger Bands are looking like, whatever those rules are that you're using. Is that too much? Is that too much information? Is that too many what I call conditions? My trading rules are based on conditions, and they're no more than 3 or 4 conditions on a given rule. But the key to that is those conditions are sequential. They're looked to in order. If you are out there with a Bollinger Band, an RSI, I don't know, a fib or engulfing candle pattern, and so you're looking at 5 different triggers that you're looking at to make your trading decision, you have to realize that you're really going to have to intellectually, in real time, churn through 325 different possibilities, or what we call permutations, over those 5 options or 5 indicators that you're looking at, or 5 triggers, or whatever the hell you want to call them. And that's too much. Well, where do you get 325 permutations from? Well, look, if I had 2 objects, A and B, there are 4 different ways I could arrange those objects. I could arrange it as A, I could arrange it as B, AB, or BA. So with just 2 conditions, I've got 4 permutations that I can put those in. So if I have 5 objects, there's 325 permutations. If I have just 3, I think it's 19. I mean, it's massive, whatever that is. And you're going to be doing that in real time. That's not a good approach. Well, you look at me and you say, well, you've got 4 conditions or 3 conditions in your entry rule, so you got to go through those 19 permutations in order. No, I don't, because those conditions are sequentially ordered. If this condition is true, and then that sets the groundwork for the next condition, and that sets the groundwork for the next condition. I test it in order, 1, 2, 3. I don't go 2, 3, 1. It's 1, 2, 3. And if any of those don't flag true, I'm out. They all have to flag true, and they're all sequential. But if you're looking at a Bollinger Band and an RSI and a fib, there's no way you can order those. They're non-sequential. And so you're going to have 325 different permutations. So the better approach for you is not to trade with indicators. I've said this in so many of my videos. In fact, I won't even take somebody on as a student if they're asking me, well, what indicator to use? How do you use this indicator? I want to do this. I believe in the golden cross. You're showing me how that works. No, we're done. I can't help you. I have a degree in physics, almost a minor in math. I did real estate for 40 years. I didn't just fall off the back of a truck. I understand what's mathematically related and correct, and none of that stuff works. It's all lagging. What's the price going to do right now? I mean, how many different things do you need to look at? Well, I have one, and I call it a process. The approach that I take to entry analysis is a process, and that process is the execution of a methodology. And that methodology is outlined in my trading plan in the 3 principal sections of the trading plan, which, by the way, are also in sequential order. So I've simplified the structure of my trading within the trading plan, and each phase of that, each piece of those 3 pieces are also structurally in sequential order. And finally, when you get down to the execution rules themselves, entry rule, the conditions that fire that entry rule are sequential. For entry analysis, I have 1 rule and 4 conditions. For those that are beginning and are taking courses from me, there's 4, but when you actually get done in trading, you can combine 2 of those. They're just those last 2 are stopgaps for someone who hasn't quite got the ability to evaluate the playing field at an eye glance. They need the check off points, and so even though there's 4 conditions and they're sequential in order, I don't really need to worry about 4 things in the entry process. But I've worked with it over a long period of time, so I can say that. The key issue here is that you've got this entry analysis that you're going to have to do, and 90% of the people that I talk to, 95% of the people that I talk with, complicate that entry process. Oh, I read this book and I did this and I studied this and I looked at this guy's system and this person's system and they're combining them together and I got this going, and I had an email the other day from someone who listed out 25 different what he called principles that he trading by. Risk management was one, and the other one was don't trade on Tuesday, or whatever it was. There was like 10 of them. They were totally random, incomplete thoughts. They were not processes. There was no sequentiality to them. There was no ordering. They were just a mishmash of stuff. The highlights of how you trade, the best practices, just parroting what they had read in a book. Oh, this sounds pretty important. I'll put that down in this frickin' list that I'm doing. That's not simplifying that entry analysis. You want to have an approach that minimizes the complexity. And one of the major complex issues is the number of things that you're thinking about when you're trying to make a decision. If you're thinking about 19 different things and if you're thinking about 3 different indicators and you have 19 different ways you can arrange those indicators, well, how would you arrange those indicators? You have to be looking at the condition of price action at that point. Oh, well, price is moving really fast right now. We're in a situation where we're 2 ATR. Well, you're going to have to look at one condition above a couple of the others. Oh, well, it's less than an ATR, but it's been consistently moving up there. Well, then you have to put one of those other indicators into first position. And you're trying to do that in real time. It's just not, it's not feasible for you to do. This is really simple, folks. All I can do is tell you what you need to do, and I leave it to your intelligence and your ability to quiet the noise of what you're seeing out there in video land and sit down and think for yourself. When I look at this entry analysis, what are all the problems that I see? Identify all the problems that you see, that you could run into. And what you'll find is all of those problems, there could be, well, I'll tell you, there's probably 20 or 30 different things that you need to consider when you're doing entry analysis, probably a few more. But when you get more experienced, you'll be able to say, well, wait a minute, these 3 problems are really talking about the same kind of thing, or these 5 things are really talking about the same thing. So you eliminate 4 from that list and you have a major issue that you do. Go through your thing. Look at your personality. If you're itchy and you're looking for trading and you want to get on with it, well, you shouldn't be a position trader or a swing trader. You should go think about becoming a scalper. If scalping makes your anus swell up, well, look at position trading. I teach day trading because it gives you the opportunity of experiencing a lot of different things and trying a lot of different things in a short period of time. If you're a day trader, you're working a full-time job. I'm not. I'm retired. This is January of 2025. I retired in 2015. You know, I don't have a job. I'm just having fun trading. But for those of you that are day traders, what are you going to do? You can't trade for 4 hours a day. You might be able to pick out an hour or 2 hours in the morning, or you might do an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening when you come home and pick up the openings of one currency pair here and pick up the opening of another currency pair later. I don't suggest doing multiple currency pairs until you've got a couple of years of consistent successful trading. I think if you can't be successful trading one pair during whatever period of time it is that you have, then you would be complicating your whole trading process by making that. I teach differently than I trade because I'm teaching people that are trying to improve their trading. They're not having the success that they want to have. That's why they listen to my channel. That's why you're listening to my channel. You're trading, you've tried it, you're having mixed results, or maybe you flatlined a couple of times and you're going, whoa, I see other people around me being successful. How do they get successful? And who can make sense in describing that? And who could be potentially a good educator? I'm a good educator because I've taught martial arts for over 50 years. You know, when you're teaching people the dynamics of karate and self-defense, their lives depend on what I'm trying to teach them. I'm teaching important stuff. I have to know what I'm doing because the success of my students' survival in the streets depends on that. Depends on my ability as an educator to make them not only confident in what they're doing, but confident because the stuff that they're doing they know is good and they know will work. So rid yourself of all the entertainment folks that have got their ball caps on backwards, driving their Lambo and talking about trading at 200 or 500 to 1 leverage and taking a $3,000 account to $30,000 in 90 days because it's bullshit. Look realistically at the problem that you're trying to solve. The big one is entry analysis. And I can't tell you how many of the educators, so-called educators out there that I've listened to, because I listen to all this stuff for entertainment purposes. I learn stuff too. I have never changed my rules. My rules, I got into a large account in 2017, 2018. I've been looking at the currency market since 2007, the general financial market since the mid-1970s, but I opened a $45,000 account in 2018 because I had been trading demo and I had a couple of mini accounts and I was doing study and running computer simulations of it. I was a software engineer for 33 years, so I can write computer simulations. I thought that I had everything nailed down. I'd studied things, I had taken courses, all that kind of stuff. Oh, it took me about 4 months to lose $40,000. I went, oh, wait a minute. It must be the education. Okay, I threw all that out. And I used my software engineering background to look at the currency market as a problem. What is the problem to solve? It's the life cycle of a currency position, entry analysis, position management, and exit methodology. I wrote one rule for each one of those, and life is simple. So if you're looking at this trading, this currency market, and you're getting confused with all the information out there, throw all that information away and use your own innate intelligence to look at what's going on in front of you. Can you solve this on your own without paying somebody like me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to teach it to you? Well, I don't know. You probably don't, because you don't have my background, and maybe you don't understand the educational process well enough to unscramble that and go back to the basis of what the educational process is and map that into the currency market. I can help you with that. I can do it for free, and it's certainly worth more than a couple of $1,000s to teach you how to make $30,000 or $40,000 to replace your job income, or at least substantially impact that income. If you're making $40,000 a year, if you could make an extra $4,000 a year, that's a 10% increase in your job income. Is your boss going to give you a $4,000 raise on a $40,000 income in a year? If he does, he ain't going to give it to you the next year and the next year. But with trading, once you learn the skills of using whatever size bank it is that you could make $4,000 on, you could do that on a $10,000 bank. Well, that's 40% return on the bank, right? That's feasible. But if you can't find anybody that knows how to teach you what they're doing, if they are successful, what good is that going to do you? Because you're just scrambling around, because all they're going to do is try to talk to you about engulfing candle patterns in London Open, and they see stuff. Trust me, an experienced trader is seeing stuff that you're not because of that experience. And if they're not an educator, if they don't know how to break things down into their simple components and so that they can share that with you, what are they going to do? They're going to talk about Bollinger Bands and engulfing candle patterns because they don't know how else to present it. They may very well be a good trader. I know good traders, and I communicate with some of them. But they don't know how to teach. That doesn't make them crappy people, but they shouldn't be teaching. There's some people out there that can understand and work through the gibberish that they're showing, and they get it. But why not do it simple? I mean, I'm just trying to say what a better approach is. The better approach is not to take a course from me. The better approach is to step back from the clutter of the currency market itself, which is one of them. It is the most complex trading market for retail traders that's out there. You can't get any more complex than the currency market. But within that complexity, because of my physics background and my math background, we understand how to decompose complexity into simplicity. So if you can find someone that understands that principle and can show you how to build a methodology, then you pay them whatever they want to earn because they're able to teach that to you. And that's a replicatable process for you on a yearly basis. If you can make 20% a year on a $10,000 account, you can make 20% a year on a $100,000 account. Once you get this stuff plugged in and you get it working together and you have good, solid risk management, that's great. But let me tell you something. If you don't have good entry analysis, you're never going to get to the point where you need risk management because you got nothing to fucking manage. You're going to get whacked out. You have to understand that entry analysis. And the only way you're going to do that is by simplifying all the stuff that you're looking at that you're going to involve in the decision process of making that entry judgment. It's a go or no go. It's a binary. You're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. You're not going to sit there and wring your hands and go, oh, well, it's not going to go off now, right now. But, when the moon passes its phase and the Bollinger Band does this and that, I'll be able to go in then. No, that's not the way you trade. When I start working with someone, I start working with them not on currency trading to make money. I work on them, first of all, what is the methodology and what is a process? And how do you fit those things together in a rule-based, process-oriented manner? And then I move on to what is a problem? How do you solve a problem? You solve it by breaking it up into these pieces. And you form rules to solve each one of the problems. You don't have to write the rules. You just have to know what the rules got to solve. What's the input and what's the expected output when you look at writing a rule? Those are skills that I have, and there are other people that have those skills, but you have to look for somebody that knows how to implement them. If you watch enough of my channel, you'll pick this stuff up, and maybe you'll be able to look at it without coming and saying, I want to take a course from you. It's going to cost you a lot of money to do that. But the skills that I'm teaching are valid, they're legit, and should get you up into a better percentage return against your risk that you could get than you can get in real estate or any other investment vehicle. I was in real estate for 40 years and retired a millionaire because of my expertise in real estate investment and small investment properties. So if I can do 20% or 25% a year, and that's not flipping, that's just the long-term stuff. I did it for 40 years. It was compounding and making right decisions and all that other stuff. I never lost money in real estate on any property that I ever had. And then I was also doing risk mortgages for folks that needed short-term financing. And I never lost money on a mortgage deal that I did. I didn't do deals to take advantage of people. I did deals so they'd be successful doing what they're doing so I could get my money out. I only had one deal that the people wouldn't do what I told them to do. And I didn't have to foreclose on them. The bank foreclosed on the first. I was in second position. And I let the bank foreclose, and I showed up, and I was ready to buy the property. And somebody else ended up buying it. And great, those folks got out of it. They're okay. I made my money and a hefty return on that. I've never made a mistake in these things. So that's my experience that I can bring to the table, and I know how to present it and teach it. So if you watch enough of the videos, maybe you can pick some of that stuff up, and you can learn to look at your problem that you're trying to solve in a different way so that you create for yourself a better approach to your Forex entry analysis. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day and have a great trading day.